Alright, today we have the Audeze Mobius, which is a wireless gaming headset that has planar magnetic drivers and was released by Audeze in October 2018. Currently available for $399. This was actually originally launched as a Kickstarter campaign in 2017, priced at $299. Very popular Kickstarter, a lot of people bought into it. It was very hyped up because it was a wireless gaming headset released by a renowned audiophile headphone manufacturer. Let's take a closer look at the Audeze Mobius's planar magnetic drivers. So planar magnetic drivers are a feature of Audeze headphones. Most of their audiophile headphones use them, such as the LCD 2, 3, and 4 models. Those are all much pricier and are open-back audiophile style headphones. But the concept of bringing planar magnetic drivers to a wireless gaming headset is actually fairly novel. For those of you who don't know about headphone driver topologies, these are actually different from your typical dynamic headphone drivers. Most of them will use a dynamic driver, which uses a magnet and a coil of wire known as the voice coil, which is used to push the diaphragm to create sound. A planar magnetic driver, by comparison, does not have a coil of wire. Instead, it actually embeds a conductive trace directly into the diaphragm itself. So there's no cable moving air around. Rather, it's just the driver with a conductive trace embedded in it. This typically gives you a more responsive headphone, known for its speed and detail resolving power, as well as a flat frequency response that extends deep into the bass. That, of course, does show up in the Mobius. Next key feature is the 3D head tracking. So one of the more novel features introduced with these is a 3D head tracking system. So if you put these on your head and turn them on, what you actually get is a sort of processing internally of the sound, digital signal processing, that will modify the stereo positioning of the sound as you move your head, as if you were listening to sort of a live reproduction of the sound. So if I say the sound stayed in front of me, if I turn my head this way, I'll hear mostly sound coming from the right. And this sort of creates the illusion of a live reproduction of the sound by the headphones. This is gaining popularity recently as sort of an integrated feature in many headphones. Personally, not a huge fan. I prefer my natural stereo recordings. I don't need any sort of artificial reproduction of pretending that I'm listening to a live reproduction of the music. It doesn't really do much for me. Also, unfortunately, when you turn these on, this feature is on by default, so every time you power these up, you have to manually turn this feature off if you don't want it. Not a huge fan of that. Would prefer some kind of setting to make it off by default. I think that's all I wanted to say about the 3D head tracking. In addition to Bluetooth connectivity, you also have a variety of I/O ports here. First thing you'll notice is USB-C. That's not the right side of the headphone. USB-C. So this provides you both audio connectivity over USB-C as well as a power input for recharging the battery. That can work simultaneously if you want it to, both playback and charging at the same time. I hope that's true, otherwise I'll be lying to you. You also have the 3.5mm jack here. That's for your purists out there who prefer analog playback. Unfortunately, you will still need power and battery in order for the analog input to function. So even if it dies, analog input's no good. In addition, you have a microphone port. Wouldn't be a gaming headset without an attachable microphone, but we don't have that attached right now. In addition, you have volume and microphone slide dials here, so you can adjust the volume of the playback and the volume of the microphone recording just for these simple dials. On the other side here, what we got is a microphone mute switch, pretty standard on most gaming headsets, as well as the power button for turning it on and off as you do. And yeah, that completes the total I/O. One thing we neglected to mention so far is how do I get this in the right angle? I'm gonna go this way, huh? Is the 3D button here. This actually toggles the 3D head tracking feature. So you can turn the head tracking on and off. You can adjust the center position and also disable the automatic tracking. In terms of overall build quality, it's relatively solid for a headphone in this price range. Construction is mostly plastic. If you try to adjust the headband length, it's a little jerky. It's not the most smooth experience trying to change the length of this headband. The ear pads are very nice, very premium feel, memory foam, very nice artificial leather, very soft foam. The headphones have the folding flat feature, which makes them very nicely portable if you want to carry them around. The tilt is fairly smooth. This feels pretty good. Sound isolation, I should have a shot of me putting on the head if I'm doing sound isolation. So sound isolation of these, very nice, about what you would expect for typical gaming headsets and a typical closed headphone. I'd say it's good enough for walking around outside. Gets decent enough isolation if you want to just commute with these on, or block out the noise of your neighbors while gaming. Yeah, very comfortable on the head. You can have it on all day, no problem. Battery life is pretty good. Probably lasts about 12 hours over Bluetooth playback if the battery is a full charged and you have the 3D audio processing disabled. The sound quality, very nice. Sound quality is a little bit of a subjective thing. I've listened to a lot of high-end headphones, and these are definitely some of the best closed-back headphones I've heard. I can give it very high marks. So while it does function as a gaming headset and has many features you'd want from a gaming headset, if you're looking for an audiophile-grade closed-back headphone, it'll totally give you that too, which is really great actually at the price point. You have all these features and the great sound quality. The bass extends very deep. It has a decent amount of bass emphasis, but not too much that it bleeds into the mids and highs. So this is sort of the Audeze sound signature where you have a very flat but slightly emphasized bass into slightly rolled off mids and highs, but you have the sort of the nice qualities of the plain magnetic drivers giving you a very flat frequency response all the way through. I think Audeze did a pretty great job tuning the frequency response of these to appeal both to the casual gaming headset markets while also appealing to the more hardcore audiophile segments. I think both of those groups will be very satisfied with how this headphone sounds. So, while these are packed full of gaming headset features and digital signal processing, these still maintain a level of sound quality expected of a closed-back audiophile headphone in the price range. For example, the Oppo PM3. So, yes, these are very capable wireless gaming headsets, and they double as a portable closed-back audiophile headphone. I think everybody, I'd say pretty much anyone would be satisfied with how these perform, whether you're looking for a casual gaming headset or looking for a audiophile grade closed-back headphone. I don't think you can do much better at this price range.